political resolutions in the interest of peace and stability. Our correspondent has the details.
The Rivers State House of Assembly has become the center of a deepening political crisis following the formal notice of impeachment served on the governor and his deputy. However, breaking ranks with the prevailing hardline position, Honorable Silvanus Nwankwo, representing Omoma constituency, and Peter Abbey of the Gema constituency addressed journalists in Port Harcourt, appealing for a calmer approach. Nwankwo, who is the minority leader of the House, acknowledged that there may be constitutional issues, but stressed that the current situation requires political wisdom and compromise rather than open confrontation.
We are here this morning to appeal to the conscience of our fellow colleagues, having listened to so many pleas, calls from our elders and leaders, both within and outside the state, begging for leniency. We are begging, calling our colleagues to reconsider our step and see how this matter can be resolved amicably, even though the governor and the deputy governor has infringed.
In the same vein, Peter Abbey warned that escalating the crisis could undermine governance in the state. He emphasized the need for mutual understanding, adding that the governor also has a role to play in ensuring a peaceful resolution.
We want to plead with our colleagues to please reconsider. This, we have received calls from leaders, from people in River State, outside River State, and we see that you don't raise the axe and swing it as you raise it. So we plead with our colleagues to reconsider, to please reconsider, provided the governor too has a role to play.
As pressure mounts from stakeholders within and outside the state for a peaceful outcome, attention now turns to Rivers State House of Assembly to determine whether dialogue will prevail or the impeachment process will run its full course. Sadia Yakubu reporting for Global Television News.
The National Youth Service Corps has declared its readiness to undergo reforms amid addressing emergency national challenges and strengthening its contributions to national development. The Director General of the NYSC, Brigadier General Olakunle Nafiu, stated this at the opening ceremony of the 2026 NYSC Annual Management Conference in Jos Plateau State. Nafiu further stated that the scheme has matured and is positioned to move beyond symbolic nation building to more direct and measurable national impacts. In recent years, internet fraud has grown from a fringe criminal activity into a widespread social challenge affecting communities across the country. Once associated with a small group of individuals operating in scarcity, online fraud has now become more visible, more organized, and more socially disruptive. Here is our correspondent's reports.
The expansion of internet access and smartphone usage has created new economic opportunities, but it has also opened doors for cyber criminals. Many fraudsters exploit social media platforms, emails and messaging apps to deceive victims, often posing as business executives, romantic partners or government officials. Unemployment, poverty and the pressure to achieve financial success have been identified by experts as the major factors driving young people into internet fraud. For some, it is seen as a shortcut to wealth in an economy where legitimate opportunity feel limited.
Internet fraud per se can be caused from poverty. Now, the poverty is not based on the teenagers per se, but it's based on the parents. Why do I say the parents? Most African parents, they cannot be able to provide for their wards.
The consequences for victims are often devastating. Individuals have lost life savings, businesses have collapsed, and families have been pushed into financial crisis. Beyond financial loss, victims suffer emotional trauma, shame, anxiety, and loss of trust in others. Many are reluctant to report fraud due to fear of stigma or believe that nothing will be done. International victims in particular have reported damaged perceptions of entire communities and countries, further affecting global relationships and opportunities for honest citizens.
And people want to either harvest data or harvest information that they can then use for personal gain. So the causes is close to government, and it's also said the consequence also affect those who are innocent.
Law enforcement agencies face significant hurdles in combating cybercrime, including limited technical capacities, jurisdictional challenges, and rapidly evolving scam method. While arrests and prosecutions have increased, experts argue that enforcement alone is not enough without addressing root causes. Tackling internet fraud requires a multi-layered approach. Job creation, digital skills training, and youth empowerment programs can provide legitimate alternatives. Public awareness campaigns can help citizens recognize and avoid scams. Stronger cyber law, improved policing, and international cooperation are also essential. Addressing it requires not only arrest and laws, but a collective effort to restore values, create opportunities, and protect the digital future of the society. Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television News.
The National Identity Management Commission has captured no fewer than 127 million Nigerians in its National Identity Numbers (NIN) database as at last December. Commission's spokesman, Dr. Adegoke Kayode, gave the figure in response to inquiries on the updated NIN enrollment for the country. Adegoke said details of the NIN enrollment across the country would be uploaded soon on the Commission's website. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Edo State has demanded the immediate and unconditional release of 52 students of the Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, who were remanded in prison over their alleged involvement in last Friday's protest against insecurity in the town. In a statement issued, the PDP's Publicity Secretary, Dan Osa Ogbegi, described the continued detention of the suspect, most of them students, as oppressive, unlawful, and a blunt abuse of power. The party maintained that the protest was peaceful and constitutionally granted before it was allegedly hijacked by hoodlums. In the meantime, Edo State government has postponed the resumption date of all public and private schools in Edo's Central District. In a statement, the State Commissioner for Education, Dr. Padi Iyamu, said the postponement was until further notice to enable the state government to address prevailing and improve the welfare and safety of pupils. The new date of resumption will be duly communicated to the public in due course, the Commissioner said. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa of Ondo State has granted a state pardon to no fewer than 7 convicts serving various jail terms in the state. With the new set of inmates receiving the state pardon, the governor, in a statement by his chief press secretary Ebenezer Adeniya, disclosed that the inmates received the grace based on reports of positive attitude as well as what he described as genuine remorse. Aiyedatiwa said, in the spirit of the new year, pardoned 77 inmates across the correctional facilities in the state. The federal government says it has inaugurated the 40 billion naira closed-circuit television camera CCTV center of the 3rd Mainland Bridge in Lagos State. Inaugurating the center, Minister of Works Dave Umahi stated that they directed total evacuation and rehabilitation of the surface of the bridge and changing the expansion joints. The police authorities in Benue State have confirmed the attack on Otobi community in the Otukpo local government area of the state. Gunmen had stormed the community in the early hours of Tuesday, killing 5 people. Among the victims is as House of Assembly candidate for Otukpo Akpa State constituency on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the 2019 general election. Igabe Ochi, however, in a statement on Tuesday, the command's spokesman Odeme Edet said 4 persons were killed in the attack, contrary to media reports. You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When Midday News returns, Trump announces 25% tariff on countries doing business with Iran following protest crackdown. Details coming shortly, plus sports stories and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. And in business news, Nigeria is set to secure concrete climate agreements and funding opportunities at the ongoing Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week in the United Arab Emirates. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, says the event provides a platform to translate climate commitment into actionable projects and real investment for Nigeria, especially following recent global climate engagement. Kikelomo Okere has details.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, says a major highlight of the visit is a high-level bilateral meeting between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, during which the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement is expected to be signed. Ambassador Tugar explained that the agreement is aimed at protecting investors on both sides, while also ensuring the safety and dignity of Nigerian businesses and workers operating in the UAE.
It also protects the investment of Nigerians. That, you know, we have a lot of Nigerian businesses doing business in Dubai. Some actually even have factories and so forth. So this further protects them, and it also dignifies the Nigerian. For us, we want to ensure that the dignity of Nigerians is upheld and Nigerians are respected.
The minister further notes that discussion will also focus on harnessing Nigeria's vast gas resources as part of effort to address the country's power challenges. He added that issues such as pipeline development, licensing rounds, and new investment to convert gas and electricity will feature prominently in the talks.
So there's gas. We're looking to invest further in gas for electricity. So because we have a lot of gas, and we need to ensure that we develop that gas to power electricity.
Ambassador Tugar described the engagement as a significant steps towards strengthening Nigerian climate action drive and deepening economic relations with United Arab Emirates. Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News.
The Nigerian Customs Service has announced the commencement of a new standard operating procedure for regulating carrier companies operating under the delivery duty paid regime. The new framework provides a unified framework for registration, manifest, submission, declaration, valuation, clearance, delivery and compliance monitoring in line with global best practices. The newly implemented standard operating procedure sets out a unified framework for carrier activities covering registration, manifest, submission, declaration, valuation, clearance, delivery, and compliance monitoring in line with the global best practices. United States President Donald Trump has warned that any country doing business with Iran will face a 25% tariff on the trade with the United States, sharply rising pressure on Tehran as deadly anti-government protests continue across the country. Trump said the measure would take effect immediately. Any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran will pay a tariff of 25% on any and all businesses being done with the United States of America, he wrote, adding that the order was final and conclusive. The White House offered no further details on how the tariff would be enforced or what level of commercial ties would qualify as doing business with Iran. The federal government has proposed 142 billion naira for the construction of 6 national bus terminals in the 2026 budget, which has a total proposed size of 58.47 trillion naira. The project was captured in 2026 appropriation bill under the Ministry of Transportation, which was allocated a proposed budget of about 352.1 billion naira for the 2026 fiscal year. The inclusion of the project in the appropriation bill follows an earlier approval by the Federal Executive Council in August 2025. And on the foreign scene, Iranian president said Reuters should not be allowed to disrupt society in his first remarks after 3 nights of intensified protests against the country's authority. Protesters in Iran had initially been sparked by anger over the rising cost of living that have lasted 2 weeks, becoming a movement against the theocratic system in place following the 1979 revolution. Zahra Nasser reports.
Opposition, in an interview with State TV, stated that protesting is the people's right, but echoed authorities in drawing a line between outcry over Iran's dire economy and rioters the government alleges are backed by the United States and Israel. However, Iranians have consistently maintained that the status quo can no longer be sustained given the current socio-economic status of the nation.
Turkey should stand up for the Iranian people, stand by the Iranian people. We couldn't protest today. We weren't given permission. We couldn't voice our objections. We couldn't protest, and we're here for a peaceful demonstration. But today, the Turkish police didn't allow us.
In our people, in our nation, at least 1,000 people have been martyred according to the latest news. An intervention is needed. Whether America, President Donald Trump, anywhere in the world, an intervention is needed because our regime is not normal. This time we also have a leader, Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. We want him. This time, victory is ours, and we are winning.
Meanwhile, large crowds have gathered across the country in recent days, chanting anti-government slogans, despite an internet blackout that rights groups have warned is being used to obscure a deadly crackdown by security forces. State TV has aired images of buildings, including a mosque on fire, with authorities saying members of the security forces have been killed. Zahra Nasser, reporting for Global TV News.
When Yoweri Museveni seized power in Uganda in 1986, he declared that the problem of Africa in general and Uganda in particular is not the people, but leaders who want to overstay in power. Now, 81, the former rebel leader is seeking a 7th term in the office after nearly 4 decades at the helm of East African nation, a country where the vast majority of citizens have never known their leader. Museveni rose to power on a wave of optimism after leading insurgencies against autocratic governments. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi tells Al Jazeera if Washington wants to test the military option it has tested before, we are ready for it. Tens of thousands of pro-government demonstrators took to the streets in the show of force after weeks of deadly protests as Iran continues to be cut off from the internet for a 5th straight day. And in sport, Nigerian's Ademola Lookman currently leads the 2025 African Cup of Nations goal contributions chart in Morocco. The Atlanta forward has 7 goals contributions, 3 goals, 4 assists to his name so far. Behind Lookman is fellow Nigerian teammate Victor Osimhen, who has 6 goals contributions. Nigerian Super Eagles midfielder Alex Iwobi has said that Morocco will be a tough team to beat in Africa Cup of Nations semi-final. The Fulham midfielder admitted that the Atlas Lion looked really scary, adding that he watched their performance against Cameroon. Nigeria is faced with a much more difficult task of playing the host nation, the Atlas Lion, in Rabat on Wednesday after defeating Algeria 2-0. The Confederation of African Football has unveiled Nigeria's route to the 2026 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup following the draw for the African qualifiers held in Rabat. Nigeria's Under-17 women's team, the Flamingos, will enter the qualification campaign at the 2nd round stage, where they were scheduled to face the winner of the preliminary tie between Niger and Guinea. The first leg of that encounter is set to take place between May 22nd and 24th, with the return leg fixed for May 29 to 31st. Former Manchester United striker Wayne Rooney has admitted he would be interested in working alongside Michael Carrick at the club. The Red Devils are on the verge of appointing Carrick as their interim manager following the sack of Ruben Amorim. The 44-year-old is advanced talk with United over the role and will be confirmed in the coming days. And that's it on Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365 and Star Times, channels 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using that Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.